I told you it was coming. And now, well, officially, it's here. And as you notice, we're not in the same shop we used to have where we had the tent built over top of the van to keep Romer out of the elements. We're fully exposed nowadays. And the more I think about it, there's no way the setup we have today is gonna work. If we get into -30 weather, or heck, even -10 weather at that point, there's no way I can have this big door open, the van doors open, the furnace going in the garage, the furnace going inside the van, and still expect to get a van build done or a video done. I'd be freezing my butt off and all you guys would hear is furnaces. To start this video off, we should probably check the fuel gauge inside Romer, because look, you can see my breath, meaning it's freaking chilly. And that means we're gonna have to run the furnace inside of Romer. So we should probably make sure we're gonna have enough gas to do that. That Rixon furnace we set up will stop running once we hit a 1/4 of a tank. Of course, the goal is you're not running the furnace and running yourself out of fuel. And we are pretty much right at that mark. Instead of having our van sit sideways like this across the face of our garage door, we're gonna have her parked like this. So the entrance of the back of the van enters into the garage, and we're gonna build starting from the front and work our way out the back with all our finishing touches. So we're gonna attempt to build a shop similar to what we had in our previous location, except for we're not putting the Shelter Logic part over the front of the van, because all the exterior stuff, the roof and everything like that, is all completed. And you can watch that whole playlist right here or there, one of the two. So I've already gone out and bought all the wood and screws and tape and tarps, not wasting your time with it. So the plan is gonna be to make sure the door is fully closed off and sealed to the van. So at least while we're in here, we'll be blocked from the wind and snow and all those kinds of things. And I planned this spot for the van specifically because, as you can see where the furnace is inside the garage, I noticed this when I had the van parked sideways along here, that when you stood at that side door, it was blowing hot air straight into the van. Not to mention that just because of how our garage is, the level from the driveway to the garage, it's a lot less of a step into the back of the van. Winning! I just step right up here and you can actually feel the breeze of warm air coming straight in through Romer. As well as we have our Rixon's diesel heater for inside the van, which means when we build some tarping across here and close off that end and seal it all to the garage up here, I feel like we're gonna end up with a pretty sweet little workspace. And now, day or night, doesn't matter when we're working on the van, it'll all look exactly the same. So I guess the plan is we're gonna lay 2x4s down along here, making sure that this door can still open and close. Bolt it up straight and then go across the top. This side, we'll bring it in on this side of the door, out and up and over as well. Which is awesome because from the street, you'll hardly even be able to see what we've built over here. We'll build center, will be on the other side of the van towards the house. And then we're still left with this nice big wide open area where we can even still park the car and stuff, but my shelter will be completely enclosed to the garage. And I gotta admit, there really is no plan. It's kind of on the fly kind of thinking here. See the slope of that garage, it's a good angle. So to bring this all together and make sure it's secure enough that it's not gonna come apart in the wind and whatever else and wreck our van, or worse, hurt somebody. Well, here I am, 9:30 at night, and still haven't gotten any further ahead. Okay, so another day, another night, all finished, completed, but I think we have a plan. So the first thing we're starting with is a 16 by 20 heavy duty tarp, in which we're gonna get mounted to the top frame of this shelter so that we have a starting point to run our tarp off of. And yes, we will be putting holes in the side of our house, but because it's stucco with wood frame, it'll be very easy to repair once we're done with this shelter and pull it all back down. You won't even know this ever happened. So with Romer out of the way, we'll open our tarp up and try and get laid out for the full 20-foot width. Should be this way. What? Of course it gives you a 16-foot width. I was hoping for better news than that. Gotta open this thing right up, I guess. And now I need to find a way to get this end up to there, along with our 12-foot pieces of wood that we're putting across the top. So we're going to take our piece of wood, we basically want to mount this up across here, and we want to be able to wrap the tarp around our 2x4 so it mounts up to the wall and squished between the house and the 2x4. This is going to give it a lot more strength from the wind and stuff like that pulling. So if you just put screws or something through it on the outside, it'll constantly be pulling and it won't last very long. It'll start tearing away and obviously leaking. So if we're able to find a way to wrap those 12-foot boards and mount them up there, and I'm pretty sure by this point my neighbors are looking at me like, what is this crazy doing?
How's it going?
Not.
No? Why not?
Huh?
Why not?
Because it's windy. Good news is, that wasn't sketchy at all. I'm gonna get it up there. Just put a couple in, just to hold it in place for us. Oh man. Oh, it's not hurt. Oh man. But after hours of fighting the wind and all that kind of fun jazz, we finally got it up. And I really wasn't able to show you me putting the wood up on top there because when I was underneath that tarp, it was actually impossible to just get it up there, let alone try and hold the camera and show you what I was doing. We'll check that out once we have the tarp up. For now, we need to build our first wall right here. So we just drilled pocket holes for all of our mounts, and now that we got this wall assembled, we now have another tarp. And this is a 12 by 16 tarp that we're going to wrap the whole face of this. So we just lay our tarp across it and start screwing it all down. So we're going to start by using the holes in the tarp and just go the whole way down, two sides, so we can pull the tarp nice and tight. Using 1-inch deck screws and some washers that the screws fit right through. So it's going to spread out the contact area of where that screw is putting pressure on our tarp. And then on the other two sides where we don't have any of those grommet holes, we pull it nice and tight. We're going to run our exterior Gorilla tape. We're going to do that all the way across until we have a piece that's fully tarped. We'll cut away the extras. Tape off all the edges. There we are, our battery went dead, but we got all of our edges taped down. Then we put some more screws in between each other screw that we put down originally. to make sure everything's gonna hold tight and not go anywhere. But now we're ready to lift this thing up and set her into place. With a door and all. And no, I did not go through me bolting it all up or anything like that. The important parts were how all the tarp is mounted to our wood, so we know it's not gonna go anywhere. The dimensions and actually building of the shelter itself, kind of relevant. On this one, we're just the idea man, not the dimension guy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you, the way we went about bolting some of this stuff on, I wouldn't want to put it on YouTube anyways, because if you're a carpenter or something, you'd probably be screaming at me. But as mentioned, on this side looking at the van, you can see the full front of the van, of course, and only a small section of our shelter, just blocking it so no wind or snow or anything like that can get into where we work. Of course, we come over to the front side, we put ourselves a door so we can get in and out from the garage to the front for any cases that we might need to do so. And once we come inside and close her all down, this is what it's looking like. Oh shoot, I still got all my tarps out, hold on. And there we go, from standing inside where our workbench is and our saws and everything, you can see we got direct access into the back of Roamer, and we're completely sheltered off. As we spoke about, that's where we put our bar attached to the garage, in which our tarp actually wraps around the backside, so there's no way that's ever gonna come loose or start tearing on us. And then we have our big wall on both sides. But with that furnace on, which it is now, it's not running because it's minus 2 degrees Celsius out today, and inside this shelter, both furnaces come on, both furnaces do get to temperature and shut back down. For instance, right now, it is sitting at 19 degrees Celsius inside of our shop. Now when we get to minus 10, minus 20, it might be a different story, but the important part of this is that it keeps our whole area dry and out of the wind. If we have to deal with a little bit of cold, we can make that happen. And I should also mention, of course, that our shop door does still open and close perfectly. So if it gets too cold, we can shut her down and keep our shop warm. And that, my friends, right there is the last 2 weeks in the Dares world. So if you're ever looking for a way to build a van in winter and it doesn't fit inside your garage, well, maybe this just gave you an idea. If not, maybe it's just strictly entertainment. That's your call. But there's also another thing that's your call, and that is hitting the subscribe button. If you haven't done so yet, why not? So no pressure, of course, you do you, but maybe go down and hit that button. If you have, thank you, thank you, thank you. Maybe try and hit that thumbs up. Definitely leave us a comment, and we will see you on the next video. Perfect.